Good morning, dignitaries, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, my name is Philip Hoare and I am the Procurement and Standard List Manager with the International Agency for the Prevention of Blindness in London, also founded by Sir John Wilson. I shall be talking about my relationship with Aurolab and the contribution of Aurolab to my work and the prevention of blindness. It is my absolute pleasure and honour to be invited to this auspicious occasion, Dr. V's centenary celebrations. I've had a long association with Aurolab and had the pleasure of meeting Dr. V on a couple of my earlier visits to Aurolab. My association has been with Aurolab as my background and specialisation is procurement. I've been in this line of work for about 30 years now. Yes, I am that old. I moved into eye health in 1998 when I joined Sightsavers, and my first introduction to Aurolab in 1998. In those days, and we're only talking about 20 years, technology and innovations in IOLs has moved on exponentially. As you know, cataract is the largest cause of avoidable blindness. A few decades ago, the surgical option intracapsular cataract extraction, ICCE, was not that different to couching. That has been around since the 1000 BC, basically getting rid of the lens opacity, and while we're a bit better off, you were still functionally blind without aphakic spectacles. These were just awful, and you can imagine if they happened to break them, you often did not have access to replace the pair. The IOL has been in existence for around 70 years, invented by a famous ophthalmologist, Sir Harold Ridley, who discovered that eye injuries caused by splinters from the acrylic plastic of the Spitfire canopies during World War II did not cause any inflammatory rejection when glass did. This, of course, got him thinking, and to cut a long story short, he invented the IOL. The first implant was made in 1950 in St Thomas's Hospital in London, but took until 1981 for the FDA to approve it. And then the IOL was put into mass production. That is less than 40 years ago. So although IOLs were available, these were unaffordable for the majority of people in lower middle income countries and many high income countries. Then our Aurolab caused a revolution in restoring vision by manufacturing a PMMA IOL at the 10th of the price, and the world was suddenly woken up to low-cost, high-quality IOLs, which actually rocked the world manufacturing market in this field. Extracapsular cataract extraction soon became the norm, and millions of people have had their sight restored. Aurolab responded to the completion of their affordable lenses, and during the first few years increased their capacity to cope with the demand. A new factory. This is back in, I think I took this photograph in 2005, early 2007. And then the new factory was complete later in 2007, and I was invited to the inauguration ceremony later that year, and Professor Alan Foster was the keynote speaker there. Also, the technology in IOL manufacture has moved at such a rate it is hard to keep up. Who would have thought 20 years ago that an IOL could be injected in such a small incision, plus all the other major developments in IOL technology? Aurolab has kept up with modern technology in IOL manufacturing and offers an extensive range to match any of the larger brands such as Alcon and Bausch & Lomb, and I'm proud to have such an association with them. Due to this progression, I believe Aurolab made a huge impact in the progress of surgery, moving away from ICCE to ECCE and then to 6 and phaco. During my 15 years tenure at Sightsavers, savers, more than 98% of IOLs were purchased from Aurolab, and I am delighted to see that this is still the case. And I have no hesitation in recommending Aurolab to any of our IAPB members. I know I have concentrated on IOLs, but I mustn't forget the incredible suture range which I started purchasing in 1998, the blades, the extensive range of pharmaceuticals, ophthalmic equipment, and their soon-to-be launched auto refractor, to name just a few. All the Aurolab products, which include the consumables and equipment, are a perfect fit for the IAPB standard list, which I have managed for the past 18 years. The standard list is a service I provide to IAPB members and partners to enable them to establish sound systems of procurement and strategic purchasing, contribute to the availability of effective, quality, safe and affordable essential eye health equipment and other products. I am delighted that Aurolab feature on the IAPB standard list and have done so for more than 30 years. Aurolab and of course the Aravind eye care system has had a huge impact on prevention of blindness, and I am sure will continue to do so. And I am extremely honoured to have a long and fruitful association with my friends at Aurolab and at Aravind, and I look forward to continuing this relationship into the future. Just before I finish, I've just got a few pictures I've taken over the years, and you might recognise a few faces. This is 2005. And this is on a CBM and joint CBM and Sightsavers mission. I came to Sightsavers, to IAPB. Where am I? Aravind. And I came here again in 2007 with Carol Webb, who's still at Sightsavers now. And that was the joint mission I came with. It's gone back a year or so. And here I'm planting a tree by the lake, which needed a bit of watering. And my tree had grown after a couple of years. I think that was my tree. Anyway, thank you very much.